I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. I did not want to come live, you guys, because as y'all see, my eyes are puffy and swollen. I can't find my earrings. I can't anything right now. Today is just a day and it's raining. So, yes, as you guys know, I am usually there at the court, outside, covering all of this good hot henny for you guys. Can y'all hear me good? Let me know if y'all can hear me good because y'all need to hear every bit of this. For whatever reason, why does my face look lopsided? Anyway, that's neither here nor there. What's poppin', everybody? It's your favorite doc tender, that girl Henny, and I'm about to pour plenty of the Diddy docs that y'all came to sip on. So, listen, you guys, a ruling has been made. Now, there's been a lot that has been going on, a lot of kerbuffle about juror number 6. And on Friday, if y'all remember, that if you were here last night, I did talk about this, but I did drop that video into members, so everybody is not able to see it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give y'all the recap of what I said on the nightcap. Now, on Friday, Judge Arun Submarini said that juror number 6 was lacking candor and that his inconsistencies in his story when it came down to his residency actually showed that there was deception there. And so Judge Submarinian said he is out. Now, Xavier Donaldson did stand up and did say that, hey, this is a diverse jury. And if you let him go, this is going to be presidential to Mr. Combs because he's only one of 2 Black males that are on the jury, that they share a similar background. And this would be just basically an injustice for Diddy if he lets this juror go. But the other side of that is you leave somebody on the jury who you don't know if they're being honest. You don't know if they could be trusted. You don't know any of this stuff. So today, this morning, the judge ruled, and this comes after the defense sent a 15-page letter in, submitting it, basically citing that let me give y'all a breakdown. Let me pull up my handy dandy notebook. All right, so when it comes down to juror number 6, there was a lot of information that was given in that 15-page letter, and I'm going to break it down for y'all. So first of all, the whole purpose of the defense's letter was that they wanted to file and strongly oppose the dismissal of a seated Black male juror, arguing that it would cause severe prejudice against Diddy and reflects racial bias. Yes, baby. Yes, they are saying racial bias is a part of all of this, right? They also suggest a mistrial may be necessary if the juror is removed. All right. Now, the first point of their argument was the main argument against the juror, they're saying needs to be dismissed, all right? That there was no legal bias for removal, that the court lacked discretion to dismiss a juror without a factual or legal bias, okay? They also said that the juror's perspective matters, meaning the juror is one of 2 Black males on the panel, and his background is important for fair deliberations on issues involving race, gender, and sexual misconduct. Now, in this instance, I can kind of understand where they're coming from, where you're saying you have a diverse jury, right? And these jurors all come from different backgrounds, and they may not be able to understand certain things. But this case is not about understanding where you come from, because there are many of people that have grown up in the hood, come up from single parenting, and they didn't do half of the things that Diddy is being accused of. Where they're coming from with that, but at the same time, I don't. They also said that there was inconsistencies and that the inconsistencies were minor, citing that the alleged inconsistencies in the jury's response about his residence and family are reconcilable and non-malicious. The juror was cooperative and honest in voir dire and during the private colloquies. Now, let me explain this. Saying who you live with, saying where you live, those things are not things that you sneeze at. You know who you live with every day. You know what address you drive to every day. You know where you go home to after work. So to have so many different versions of where you live, that raises an eyebrow, because during his voir dire, which I showed last night, and I'll probably do a short video, chop this up and insert the voir dire here. In his voir dire, he did say, and I was able to track down that juror number 6 was actually juror number 58 in the voir dire. He said that he lived in the Bronx with his fiance and his daughter. Well, in passing, in a conversation with someone in the jury department, he stated that he lived in Jersey. Now, this information was then given to the government, and the government then went and did their own investigation on it. And when they did their investigations, they pulled him in to do colloquies, which are questioning him in the robing room from the judge. There were two of them that were done. Okay. Um, I don't know what this is. This is something new. It says ads run shortly for some viewers. I guess somebody is about to get some ads. It's letting me know to let y'all know y'all about to get an ad. I don't know. Anyway, while he was in there with the judge, he stated that he lived in New York and that he still had his driver's license in New York, that he has his mailing coming to his house, and also that he spent 4 to 5 nights a week here in New York City, which means majority of his time was spent there. But when the judge asked about his daughter, he said that his daughter was born in Jersey and that she continued to live in Jersey, that she hadn't lived in New York. She lived in Jersey the whole time. So this raises questions because during the voir dire, you said you lived with your fiance and your daughter. But if your daughter was born in Jersey and has lived in Jersey all of this time, then there's no way that you lived with your daughter in the Bronx. Then it was said that he lived with his aunt in the Bronx. So all of these different changings of the story is what made Judge Arun Submarinian say what it is that he said, where he said, I don't know if he can follow simple jury instructions. If he can't keep up with candor, being very transparent about where you live. He said, had he said this from the beginning, or had he just been honest and kept the story consistent about where he lived, it wouldn't have been an issue. But it was the ever evolving story that caused Judge Arun to say Juror 6 is out. And again, I get where he's coming from. Anyway, so for them to say that that's minor, that's not minor because that shows deception, just like the judge said. All right. They demanded that the court reverse the decision to dismiss the juror. It says the defense criticizes the court for changing their tone from initially agreeing that there was no deceit to suddenly removing the juror without further inquiry, undermining due process. Now, if you've already had 2 meetings with this juror and this juror has not given you consistent information within those two, what is going to make the third one any different? To me, that was pointless. I felt like they were just shooting, grasping at straws. This was a defense juror, someone that they had picked. So I understand that there is an issue with them trying to keep their jurors on the on the stand. However, or in the jury pool, I should say. However, the problem that comes in at for me is the fact that we've already heard about Diddy, and I've seen him for myself in court, looking at the jury, nodding his head and things of that nature. It kind of gives you an air of, why are y'all fighting so hard to keep this juror? And what is so special about this juror? Why is he fighting so hard to stay on the jury? I could tell you, who wouldn't want to be a part of the Diddy trial? You are going to be a part of history being on this jury. So I can understand why he wanted to stay on the jury. However, we can't overlook the fact that this man was not keeping his story together. All right. They also cited that there was a racial bias and said that there was a pattern of government behavior, that the government used 7 of its 9 preemptory strikes on Black jurors. Many justifications were based on theirs or their relatives' past interactions with law enforcement, an area historically shaped for racial discrimination. So now the defense is saying that the government has already shown a bias towards Black men, African American, melanated people on this jury by using their strikes to strike them based off of people's past histories with law enforcement. So I don't know. I'm inclined to say that I could see that happening only because of the injustices that I know that we face as a people. But in this instance, I really would have to go through the Voltaire and see where these people were struck and why. I do know when I glanced over it, some people had been sexually assaulted already. So you're not going to be able to get on this jury and actually be biased if we're talking about something that could possibly trigger you, right? So, I would have to see why they were let go. And then they also said it was structural racism, that the defense references systematic bias in policing and incarcerating, and arguing these experiences should enrich jury deliberations and not exclude potential jurors. So anyone who has been to jail should be able to basically serve on a jury is what, well, that's what they're saying. That's what I'm getting from this. I don't know. I could be reading it wrong. All right. They also made allegations of the government overreaching. The defense outlined a pattern of extreme, unfair, or possibly unconstitutional actions by the prosecutors and its agents. Unprecedented tactics. They're saying that the indictment under Civil Rights Unit for uh, private consensual sexual behavior. Okay. They keep trying to push this narrative of consent. And what I'm trying to tell y'all is if you look up consent, right, it's more than just somebody saying yes. If a person is intoxicated, they cannot consent legally. Even though they say yes out their mouth, they cannot consent legally. And that's where a lot of the issue comes in when it comes down to this case, because that's something that I think the government is going to bring into their closing arguments about the consent. And if they don't, that's something that they do need to bring up and make people aware of. Okay. So, hold on one second, you guys. Where were we? Because guess what? The government does clap back. All right. Now it also says that there were the raids on Diddy's home, that they were using military force and orchestrated media leaks. Now, first of all, that's Homeland Security. Okay. Denial of voluntary surrender, because they're saying that they came and they arrested Diddy before he could have a chance to turn himself in. So they denied him being able to surrender himself. But they're bringing all of this into a letter that is supposed to be about fighting to keep juror number 6 on the stand. So for me, I'm saying I get it. You're trying to show that there's racial bias on the prosecution side, but I feel like they're doing too much and going too far, because the facts are the facts. You understand? Like, the man couldn't keep straight where he was living. Now, if it was a matter of he lives here and he lives there, he's house hopping and bouncing around, then that's one thing. But the fact that you've actually placed people in residence that they don't live in, that's an area for concern. Saying that you live with your fiance and your daughter in the Bronx, and then turning around and saying that your daughter was born in Jersey and has lived in Jersey, that's an inconsistency in even the composition of your household. To say that you live in the Bronx with your aunt when you said you lived with your fiance and your daughter, that's a change in the story. And all of this could have been avoided if he would have just never said anything to anybody. But the fact that juror number 6 opened his mouth and said something to somebody, that is what caused all of this. I thought the jurors weren't allowed to talk to anybody. I actually was on an elevator one day with a juror. I'm assuming it was a juror. I said something to them. They just went. I said something else. They went. I said, "Oh, this must be a juror." So as I got off the elevator, I said, "I apologize for speaking to you. I hope you don't get in trouble." They didn't say anything to me. They would not say anything to me. It was just like, I'm acknowledging that you've said something to me, but I can't say anything back. I can't even say good morning to you back. So why aren't you keeping mum's the word when it comes down to this? Okay. Then they went on to accuse the government of media manipulation and publicity stunts. Now, again, what does any of this have to do with juror number 6? This has nothing to do with juror number 6. It just feels like they just want to put their points out there again. This is what you're supposed to be proving when you get up and it's your turn at bat, which should be coming next week. Either the prosecution said that they would be done either Wednesday of this week or Friday. So again, when we get into this 15-page letter, none of this makes any sense to me as to why you're making your argument now. You should just focus on when it's your turn to put your witnesses up there, what your defense strategy is going to be. You said a lot of this stuff in opening statements. As a matter of fact, they've questioned the agents as to if it was necessary for them to use military force. Now, I'm not saying that they should have used military force, but I'm also not on law enforcement. What I do know, though, is when they come to kick in your door, they ain't waving no 4-4 at 5 o'clock in the morning. They're coming in there with all types of bows out and ready. They don't care who's in there. Okay. I've been the victim of a raid, a wrongful raid of my household where my kids had assault rifles on them. They didn't know who they were. They didn't know what they were walking into. They were walking into the dark. So again, I can't say that the force that they used was necessary, but what I can say is this is something that we see all the time. When they come and raid your home, they're not coming in there politely knocking on your door and saying, hey, do you mind if we raid your apartment? If we raid your home? That's not what they're saying. They're kicking your door in and they're coming in with their hammers out. And they're going through and they're rifling through your stuff. They're tearing your home up. I think the thing is, the way that it was televised was distasteful. That I can agree with. Okay. Swagger said they come early like that just to get you off guard. That part. But see, here's the thing. When it came down to, hey, Tyron, when it came down to Diddy's home being raided, let me tell you what the agent testified to. The agent testified to the fact that they chose that specific time to raid his home because nobody was supposed to be home. That's transcript and testimony right there. They picked that particular point in time to raid his home because nobody was supposed to be there. But surprise, surprise, when they got there, his sons was there, Stevie J was there. So there were people there when they went into the home. So they even gave a courtesy of doing this when he wasn't home. They don't give us that courtesy as regular civilians. They don't give a damn if you home or not. They're coming and kicking your door in and they going to go through what they need to go through and take out who they need to take out and what they need to take out at the same time. You feel me? So in this instance, I'm not being biased. I'm just saying I don't see where he was treated any differently than any of us would be. And I think that's the problem. You're a celebrity. The feds are coming. You think the feds are going to say, we're going to politely take care of this because this is Diddy's home? No, they're coming in there because there's allegations made against you. And they were firearms. There were rumors of firearms being there, and there were firearms found there. Regardless to whether they were his securities or whomever's, there were firearms found in the home. So of course they're going to come in there to protect themselves. I don't think they needed the tank and all of that stuff. Like, I don't know. I mean, it was said that they used the tank to knock the gate open to the house. I don't know, but I'm just saying. They also said that there were repeated media leaks to undermine the jury's neutrality. So that's where we're going back to this video of the Intercontinental Hotel, where they're saying the defense believes that the prosecution leaked that, or that Homeland Security leaked that information to CNN. But what I find awfully mind-boggling to me that nobody is talking about is the fact that the video that we saw on CNN was the actual video footage that came from Israel Flores's phone. Israel Flores was the first person to take the stand in this case. And Israel Flores testified that he recorded the video off of the system to take home to show his wife because he didn't think his wife would believe him when he told her what was happening and who it was happening with at the hotel. And the video that he took was sped up. We had an expert take the stand that testified to the fact that the video footage from the phone was sped up and they had to slow it down for us to see it in court, and we could see it how it naturally progressed in the video that they showed us. So that tells me that Israel Flores's video is the video that actually got leaked. So was it the government or was it Israel? And did Israel sell that to the highest bidder, which was CNN? Things that make you go home. Henny Glass is in the chat if you agree with that. Because if it was his video, okay, and unbeknownst to the other security guard, Eddie Garcia, who got paid $100,000 for the flash drive of what Diddy thought was the only copy of the video, they didn't know that Israel had that video. And I'm assuming, just an assumption, not based on fact, just me looking at the situation an analogy. I'm giving it an analogy. I think Israel sold that video to CNN or his girlfriend, somebody. But then they also went on to say that they were labeling Diddy as somebody who was dangerous without supporting evidence, and that the government's public parade of unreliable witnesses before the grand jury. So again, we're going back into all of this. None of this has anything to do with juror number 6. None of it. None of it. Okay? So the government, before we get into anything else, the government did respond to the defense's letter, okay? And they basically said, listen, the government refutes the defense's claims that its motion to remove the juror was racially motivated, okay? The court had already reviewed the issue and found inconsistencies in the juror's statements about where he lived and who he lived with, which raised concerns about candor, trustworthiness, and possible deceit. And I see that, and I understand that. The court concluded the juror had been tried. The juror may have tried to get onto the jury, and this undermined his reliability. Now, what's making them suspicious about him trying to get on the jury and saying, well, maybe he did all of this to get on the jury, is because of the fact that he sat there and told the judge, look, okay, I'm in Jersey maybe 3 or 4 nights a week. I'm in New York 4 to 5 nights a week. I still have my New York driver's license. I still get mail in New York. Like, you're pressing this issue that your residency is in New York to stay on the trial. That caused a red flag for them. Like, why? Why are you fighting so hard to be on this jury, right? So they also went on to say that the government stands by the court's rulings, that the court's removal of the juror followed a detailed and fair review of the facts. The government states it is open to further fact finding, but reiterates there is no bias to reverse the dismissal. Inconsistencies in the jury's answers about basic facts. And you guys. See Whaler. All right. So where were we? So basically the government is saying, look, there is no reason to reverse. You can hear now, right? I love y'all too. Yes, hit the likes, you guys. It is free. Hit the likes. Hit the likes. I'm actually live a different way. I don't normally come live this way. I'm trying different things. Maybe Juror 6 is mad nosy. I don't know. I don't know. But basically they're saying there's no reason to reverse any of this. Okay. The inconsistencies in the jurors' answers were about basic facts and were serious enough to justify his removal. So this is what the government is saying. They also said the defense misconduct allegations are recycled and already rejected, which is true, because this is the same rhetoric. They've been giving us the same rhetoric over and over again from the defense. And honestly, I'm waiting to see some razzle dazzle from them. I know there are some people that are telling you, oh, they're doing this, they're doing that. I will say this, they are great lawyers. I see why, like, Brian Steele is getting paid, Westmoreland is getting paid. I see why they're getting paid the big bucks, but I'm still waiting for the boom and the magic. But I guess that'll come when they get their witnesses on the stand. But the government argues that the defense's allegations are repackaged claims already rejected by the court, including claims of misconduct in search warrant, allegations of racial discrimination in jury selection, accusations of leaks, motions for mistrial and bail, all previously denied, which is true. This will be The third time on record that they have asked for a mistrial, and the fourth time in total that they have asked for a mistrial, because Brian Steele asked for a mistrial. Ms. Shapiro asked for a mistrial. Shapiro asked for a mistrial again in writing. And now here we have another one asking for a mistrial in writing if juror number 6 is removed. So that means they're going to motion for another mistrial. Misleading or false. For example, the defense claimed that the government refused to meet with them, but the government states they had regular contact and even met pre-indictment. So them saying that the government has never tried to meet with them or never tried to rectify situations is a bold-faced lie, basically, is what the government is saying. The government also denies any pattern of overreach, okay? Staffing 6 prosecutors or using filter teams was necessary due to the complexity and scale of the case. Now, pause. When we start getting into the filter team, this is what they're talking about. You remember when we talked about the cell phone that was found after the raids that somebody on Diddy's staff found a cell phone. Now, instead of turning that cell phone in, Diddy wanted to contact Teeny Garagos, which is a part of his legal team, and tell her what he had found. Now, in that text message and in those voice notes that he left, he was basically saying that he felt like this could be a big win, or that it could be something that could help them, because this phone had been in play ever since the conspiracy. All right. We don't know who female 1 is. We don't know if it's Jane. We don't know if it's Cassie, but there is information about female 1 that was on that phone. Okay. And he was contacting a staffer, which I'm assuming is KK, to have her give him the number to Teeny Garagos, which I don't understand how you don't know your lawyer's number, but whatever. And I also raised into question the reason why I was questioning if this was Jane, the phone from around the time Jane was around, is because Jane had asked KK to hide a phone. Remember that, you guys? She asked Jane asked KK to hide a phone because Diddy was threatening to release her tapes and send them to her baby daddy. So she got scared and told KK, I need you to hide them phones. So I think that those are the phones that she actually was hiding. Anyway, the government denied any pattern of overreach, and they said the government urges the court to reject the defense's renewed objections, uphold the decision to remove the juror based on valid concerns, and treat any further juror inquiries with an even-handed, fact-specific manner. Well, guess what? I guess the judge heard what they had to say. The judge must not have liked what it is that the defense was saying to him, and how they tried to come at him and use that race card. And baby, guess what? Juror number 6 is gone. The alternate is already on the stand. All right. As we speak, there is an alternate juror that is sitting on the stand right now. Right now, right now. All right. So in this morning's opening, Judge Submarinian, he hoped everyone had a good weekend. He did acknowledge that he got the defense's motion, and also to the perjury of Brianna Bana, it's denied. It's denied. Okay. The witness Bangalone committed perjury. She was questioned at length on this. I denied the defense's motion, because they were trying to hit Brianna with perjury. Now, let me explain to y'all about Brianna Bana Bangalan, all right? She spoke to and testified. This is the young lady who said she was dangled over the balcony, a 17th floor balcony, by Diddy. Okay, she said she was dangled by him. She showed a picture that was dated September 26th of 2016. However, she thought that that was the date that it happened. I'm going to tell you, we have pictures. We have text messages that were given to us that back up the fact that there was a dangling over the balcony that happened. She had these little strawberry type patch bruises on her back, as well as a big bruise like this on the back of her knee. That bruise was purple and blackish looking. It was red around the rim. It was purple and black, like dark purple. So when that happens with bruising, that's usually a sign that it was an old bruise. So to me, I think she didn't remember the date that it happened, but it did happen. And the reason why I'm saying that is because there was a text message between KK and Cassie discussing the balcony dangling back in 2016. This is not a fabricated text message that was made up. This is a text message that was extracted off of phones. The data is there. So for me, if you're having a conversation about a dangling happening years ago, and we have a picture of bruising that occurred during this alleged incident, then the likelihood that it happened is there. Not only that, Diddy had somebody reach out to Brianna to try to settle her lawsuit when she first filed it. Suspicious or no suspicious? You be the judge and let me know in the comments. Is that suspicious to you? And the reason I say that that's suspicious to me is because we watched him settle Cassie's lawsuit within 24 hours. So, while she may not be able to remember the exact date it happened, the fact that it happened to me, it shows in the photograph that she has with the date on it. The fact that there was a conversation between KK and Cassie way back in 2016. It may have been days after, but it still is an event that is a possibility that it happened. Not only that, lapse in memory and foggy memory from drug abuse is not perjury. I can see if this girl came in here and she fabricated the whole damn thing and it never really happened. Yes, Cassie said a hotel, Brianna said the apartment, those things right there. Yes, that is suspicious as well. I'm going to be fair. It is suspicious, but something happened to her and it involved Diddy and he tried to settle it. Okay, even though it came out in court that Tyrone Blackburn, who was Brianna's lawyer at the time, fabricated some things within his demand letter, Diddy still was trying to settle that lawsuit ASAP. That's suspicious in itself. But either way, the judge said it's a no-go on the perjury. He's not even dealing with it. And as far as juror 6 went, he said, the record raised concerns about the juror shading his answers to be on the jury. The shifting answers raised questions about the juror's credibility. So the court indicated juror 6 should be dismissed. The defense now argues further questioning. Okay. The defense raises concerns about replacing an African-American juror with a white one and cited a Second Circuit case. The court takes this seriously, but further questioning is inappropriate and might negatively impact the jury. This is why we have alternates. Mr. Donaldson praised the diversity of the jury and said the process worked wonderfully. The defense asked the court to base its decision on race. That would be inappropriate. So juror number 6 is excused and is replaced by the first alternate. As to the defense's allegations of prosecutorial misconduct here, that is inviting the court to make a decision based on race and not be guaranteed and not be granted. That is inviting the court to make a decision based on race and cannot be granted. As to the issue about another juror, because there is another juror, you guys, another juror that arose on Friday in the sealed session. Now, remember, I told y'all after they discussed juror number 6, the judge ordered the courtroom closed and sealed, and they discussed a matter behind closed doors that we knew nothing about, but I told y'all that we were going to find out about it, and it looks like there's another juror that is on the hook, you guys. Dun, dun, dun! Okay, are y'all ready for this? Now, the judge says that they will question the juror at the end of today's session and that the party should tell him if they need to clear the courtroom or does it need to be in the robing room, okay? So that nobody can hear it. In the event that public and press not allowed to hear the report in real time, if the jury is gone, why the robing room, right? So from what I'm understanding and gathering, this juror had a conversation with, I believe it was a coworker. I could be wrong. Hold on one second. Let me pull that email up. See, this is why I don't know if I'll be going live like this, because I really, really want to be able to pull the documents up on the screen, and I really can't do that. I'm going live straight through YouTube. All right. Now, okay, let's see. Hold on one second, you guys. Yes. Okay. So this juror had a conversation with a former colleague regarding his jury service. Now, you know you are not supposed to be talking to anybody outside of the court about the case when you are on the jury. But you know what? This is what comes into play when you don't dang it, what is the word? Sanction. It's not sanction. Somebody in the comments help me out. What is the word when they put the jury away? Oh God, I'm drawing a blank. It's not sanction. Sequester? Is that what it is? Sequestering the jury? Yes, it is. Thank you, Cookie. Thank you. I'm like, I'm drawing a blank. I know the word. I know the word. Yes, they did not question this jury at all. So that means, and I told you guys this before, that this was going to be a problem because this jury leaves from the courthouse and goes home every day. And the judge is trusting that they're not watching YouTube, that they're not watching the news, that they're not reading the newspaper, that they're not seeing alerts on their phones, that they're not getting any information from the outside world at all. Like they're not having conversations over their dinner table with their family, maybe even secret conversations in person with their friends. They don't know any of that because they're not questioned. They're not put up. Usually a jury in a high profile case will be sealed off and in a controlled environment where they're put in a hotel room. They go from the court in a van to a hotel, into a room, no TV, no internet, no none of that. They cannot talk, they cannot speak, and the courts are keeping a close eye on them. That is not happening in this case. These people are going home. And the more I feel like they should have questioned this jury, they should have been sequestered. They should have been sequestered. What do you guys think? Do y'all agree with that? Let me go ahead and let me start this all right, you guys. There is the question for you guys. Should the jury have been sequestered? Y'all let me know what y'all think. Take the poll. Y'all see it up there. I think they should have been sequestered. This is a whole high profile case. That's insane. Exactly. I think that was the biggest mistake that they made because I can guarantee you there's some jurors, if not all of them, that are somewhere sneaking watching. Even if it's a matter of someone has it on the TV and they're in the other room listening, they're watching. Okay, I see you guys. This is high profile case. That's insane. Yes, they should have been sequestered. Yes, I agree. Yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely. Yes. Is it too late to? I feel like whatever damage has been done has already been done. And y'all are out here in these YouTube streets and you see how divided the reporting is on this case. Now, I'm not at court today, as you guys see, and I'm not at court because my allergies are really jacked up. Okay, you can see it around my eyes, they're all puffy. It's just horrible. I can't find my earrings, so I can't put on my eyeliner and do my do the way that I do my do, and I really didn't want to come on live. I really didn't. But let's read some of these tweets that have happened. Okay, so So now the government was to call their next witness in, but the AUSA that was on there, which one? Do we know? We don't know which AUSA this is at this immediate moment. Okay. They say first some exhibits entered under seal, subject to connection. Now we can call our first witness, Miss Shanker. Okay, so it's Anaya Shanker, a paralegal specialist at the U.S. Attorney's Office. Okay, so the AUSA asked her, what did you work on in this case? So Shanker says, two summary charts. I was asked to verify the accuracy of. So the AUSA then asked, can you describe the documents underlining these charts? Shanker says hundreds of pages. Okay. So AUSA says, who is this message? Who is in this in the messages in the chart? So Shanker says Christina Karam. Now, KK keeps coming up, you guys. KK is definitely going to be making an appearance. She has to. There's no way. They're not going to allow you to keep bringing somebody's name up like this and they don't make an appearance. Are y'all ready for KK to hit the stand? You look beautiful. I'm missing you. Oh, thank you very much. Combs only thinks he wants a mistrial. The juror number six will be on Good Morning America tomorrow. You're lying to me. I'm starting to feel like they sabotaging this case. Who is the defense or the prosecution or just the government as a whole? That's why we need you guys' commentary. Cookie, I really wish that I could be out there today, but right now I really have to take care of me. And I know that there are some people that are like, Henny, you're supposed to be resting. But how could I rest? I got to give you guys what's going on, right? What's the goings on? Okay, so then the AUSA says, and whose cell phone number is this? Shanker says Brendan Paul. Now, Brendan Paul is coming to testify today, and I'm very pissed off that I'm missing it, but it is what it is. Okay, so AUSA Shanker says, how did Ms. Karam respond to Mr. Lopez about seeing the escorts? So apparently, Christina has seen the escorts, and she has spoken to Mr. Lopez, which would be Jonathan. Not my Jonathan, but Diddy's Jonathan, that she spoke to him about seeing the escort. Shanker said, for foul language emojis, how long is he going to stay awake? That's what KK asked. So this very much shows that people knew what was going on more than what they're letting on to. They knew about the escorts. They knew about the rugs. They knew about it all. All right, you guys. So it says, AUSA says, and this one from January 30th of 2023, is it an audio file? She says, yes. So AUSA says, Miss Foster, please play the first minute and 10 seconds. And it's a female voice. Two things were weird. The only person you know was you. Wait a minute. Two things were weird. The only person who know was you. Someone found an iPad. Yes. Now remember, when Jonathan took the stand on Friday, he talked about how there was an iPad where there was a freak off video on it. And they seen it. I believe they was watching it, y'all. What did Christina Karam say in this? Shanker says, she says, he's going to the Four Seasons and wants you to bring Gatorade and chicken noodle soup. AUSA says, read these. I'll be Dave Shirley. Rock riding with him. Shanker SKK. No to Rock. Shanker SKK. Can you run $4,000 cash from Rock to the hotel? AUSA as Dave Shirley. Sure. Shanker SKK. Heads up. He's about to do Wild King. He's about to do Wild King tonight. Say what? Okay. So, no. So KK is asking this guy, David Shirley, to run 4 bands over to the hotel. He's at the Four Seasons. And KK gives him a heads up that it's about to be a wild king night. So David Shirley says, forgot to pick up the money, just give it to Fahim, just in case. So the AUSA says, what does the hotel write to Miss Karam? Uh-oh. We got a writing. See, I'm missing all the henny. Ugh. So Shanker says, the hotel called, Paul is coming up. AUSA, does Paul appear elsewhere in the chart? Shanker, yes. AUSA, let's turn off the exhibit screen to see to the public and press. So now they doing something sneaky. They don't want us to see it, all right? So the judge says, let me know when they're off, all right? So the AUSA says, please read these between Jane and Miss Karam. Shanker as KK, ask them if they can bring up 15 bath towels. I don't want to hear no more baby oil. They need 15 bath towels. Jane, he always brings between 5 to 10K. They are expecting people to leave the presidential suite at 1 p.m. KK, we're taking off. What are these about? They are setting up a flight for Jane. She getting flued out, y'all. And these are the employees that are doing this. These are the employees that are moving the money. These are the employees that know that this is a wild king night that's about to happen. These are the people putting 15 extra towels in the room. They are coordinating a flight to get Jane there to the Four Seasons. Listen, you guys, the names of these hotels, these are prominent hotels. The Four Seasons, the W, the Trump, L'Imitage. These are not your $60 a night hotels. And then they're getting suites and rooms. Like, the next time you go and visit an upper echelon hotel, just remember, you could very well be sleeping in one of the rooms that Diddy had a freak off Wild King hotel night in. Okay, where were we? So AUSA says, what are these about? They're setting up a flight for Jane. What is this? Flight information from Jessica Ruiz to KK for Arthur Jr. Paul. They flew in. Jane is getting flued in, and Paul is getting flued in, and this may be Turks and Caicos that we are looking at, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, okay? And these. So Shanker says, can you pick up the cash from Guido at Mapleton? AUSA as Jane. Yes. Give them a run. They're going to give them a run, yeah. Give them a run. They're going to give them a run, yeah. They running all around. And now you got Jane going to go pick up money from Guido. You got money being shuffled around between security. Yes, Guido. We heard about Guido. I got to find my comics. My lips look dry. Baby, it's something in the water. I cannot believe that we are actually reading this out loud, and this is happening in court. Hold on, because there's more. Okay, wait a minute. I just got an inbox, all right? The jury sees text between Combs staff discussing King stuff, okay? The jury saw text messages between Christina Karam, Sean Diddy Combs, chief of staff, and Combs' assistant, Brendan Paul. Brendan Paul was the rug mule. Okay. In the messages, Paul keeps Karam informed as he escorts Combs and Jane to Jane's house. Karam warned Paul that he might need King stuff potentially. While Combs is with Jane, Paul texts Karam, he's just going with the flow. Karam says, LOL, okay, so basically he's lit. Paul responds, LOL, is it lit? Later, Paul texts her, PD active now, running to Walmart now. Karam says, Wild King mode activated or Gucci bag activated. Paul responds, in between the two, if that makes sense. Remember, a Combs assistant previously described King nights as going to a hotel to have a private time with females. Because look at my eyes. My allergies are swollen. My allergies are acting up. So my face is swollen, everything right now. That's why I'm not there. You just made me sad, hard time struggles. You made me sad because I want to be there. So right now, I'm just like everybody else. So basically, what we are hearing right now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what has just been discussed in the exhibits is text messages between employees who are setting up King nights, who are running the DRUGs for him to the hotel. They're making sure the cash is there for the escorts. These people are actually at his beck and call, and they are heavily involved in this. That's enterprise, you guys. They're all working together for him. This is week 6, day 24. We're in the 6th week of trial. And in the 6th week of trial, we have already had 30 witnesses be called on behalf of the government. I don't know how many witnesses are going to be called for the defense, but we've had 30 in 6 weeks and counting. Now, this woman, Shankar, I believe is her name. She makes 31. And then you're going to have Brendan Paul, and that's going to be 32. So it's 32 people that will be called by the end of today. Okay. I have thought about jumping in an Uber and heading over there, just wearing my sunglasses and, still going and keeping up. And I want to so desperately want to. But you guys, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I just want to rest. I just really want to rest. God has said no. All right. So now let's end this Q&A and let's start another one for you guys. Let's do another Q&A. No, take care of yourself. I'm trying. Let's do another Q&A. Do these text messages show enterprise? Text messages that are going on between Christina Karam and all of that. KK has not taken the stand as of yet. And if I'm going to be honest with you, Tony, I think that KK is going to take the stand on Diddy's behalf. I don't believe that she's going to come and take the stand for the prosecution. But if she does take the stand for the prosecution, she's probably going to be the last witness if she's going to be a witness for them at all. but I don't see KK taking the stand, you guys, for the government. I don't. Mm-mm. All right, so you guys, Q&A, do these text messages. You guys are saying yes, that they show enterprise. I love that. I love you, mommy. You know, I never tell you no, but no. I'm not. I'm going to stay on here for a little bit longer with you guys, but then I'm actually going to get off and I'm going to make me some soup and I'm going to curl up in the bed, get me some ointment for my eyes and stuff, and lay down. But yeah, Tony, no, she hasn't come yet. Do you think, let me just say this. If KK was testifying and I knew she was coming, do you think that I would be here? I'm mad that I'm not there to catch Brendan Paul. But do y'all see my face? I need my face to be back. I'm not going outside like this. I started to put my damn sunglasses on and come on this live and talk to y'all. But I said, no, I'm going to be raw and I'm going to be real and I'm going to show them. And I don't know. My face looks lopsided to me. I don't want y'all looking now because then y'all will probably be like, yeah, her face is lopsided. Shireen said, I don't see anything wrong with my eyelids, everything. This is all swollen and my face is swollen. It looks crooked. One side of my face, it's this side, it's swollen. Henny, you look like someone beat the crap out of you. Thank you. Thank you. I do. Still cute, no wrinkles, so stop complaining. You need one of those face masks that you put in the freezer to help with the puffiness. I don't see it. Like a bee sting. Y'all, I appreciate y'all, but I know what I see. All right, let's see what else they talking about. Come on, Inner City Press. You pissing me off because I'm trying to live vicariously through him right now. Oh, they took a break? It looks like they had taken a break. Sean Combs and Damian Butler, aka D-Rock, and Mia. Okay, Miss Schenker, what does this exhibit show? Messages of Sean Combs and Damian Butler, aka D-Rock, and Mia. Turn off the screens to the public and the press. Baby, they keep turning these damn screens off. What are these about? They set up a flight for Jane. What's this? Okay, wait. We read that already. There hasn't been any update. And that was 3 minutes ago. AUSA Schenker is reading out Karam's text messages. This is how they're doing it. Sorry if it comes off unclear. Yeah, it's coming off very much unclear, which is why I want to take my ass to the damn court. But, people are telling me no, so I've got to go deal with the no's. I haven't seen any charges. She hasn't been brought up as a co-conspirator in any of this. So we're not able to see what the text messages are at this immediate moment, which means that Inner City Press cannot tweet them out if they're not being read out. So at the end of the day, this is where they are this morning. As of right now, they have someone who works in the assistant in the district office who has been going through these text messages, and it looks like they have been establishing that there was an enterprise. But now there are text messages between Diddy, Mia, and D-Rock. Now, I don't know if these text messages are going to corroborate what Mia said on the stand about D-Rock reaching out to her after Cassie's lawsuit hit the media, but I'm inclined to believe that they probably will, because it looks like what the government is doing is pulling up pieces of evidence that corroborates what they've been showing. Now, the reason I say that is because after Brianna got off of the stand, the government brought back up a piece of evidence that was not submitted but was used by the defense when Cassie was on the stand, and they were talking about the Brianna Bana being dangled. Brianna Bana being dangled. Brianna Bana. I said being dangled. Being dangled over the balcony. Now, you guys, I do have a question for all of you that are in the chat. There's not a lot of you, but there have been enough of you that are in here. Do you guys want me to read the transcripts? Because I can start reading the transcripts. Henny Glasses in the chat if y'all want the transcripts. Uh-oh. Dinella says, yes, I got time today. Yes, I got time today. I've seen you. You be around. Yes. 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 Okay. All right. I got you guys. Yes, spill it. Well, if I'm going to read the transcripts, I'm not going to do it in this screen. I will definitely go in through my Patreon. Look, I'm looking at every alert that's coming in. I thought that was another email because I was about to give it to y'all. What else? What else? Because trust me, I have people that are definitely keeping an eye on everything that's going on with this case. There's so much evidence and stuff that has been brought to the forefront. Some of this stuff has already been there. Dangled by Diddy. He don't have much muscle. She's only like 4'11". She's a little thing. She's a little person. Like, she's under 5 feet tall. And if she isn't, then she's like 5 foot, maybe 5'1", giving her a couple of inches. Brianna is tiny. I could lift her up and dangle her, and I'm 5'3.5". Okay. You've been with me since Rock. I still cover Rock. Right now, it's not very much to me to report on right now. It's just kind of like a Groundhog Day. They keep doing the same stuff over and over, so I kind of like am waiting. When stuff picks back up, I'll be back on it, but for right now, I'm just giving it a break and spreading my wings and going elsewhere. We might hear what can't be said out loud. That's true. Oh no, let me explain something. Henny, you 1 inch taller than me. I'm short. Okay, so let me tell y'all about these transcripts. So all of these sidebars that they be having, they're in the transcript. They're not redacted out. The only transcripts that I don't have are for the last week. I think the last few days of last week. Diddy dangled Wale out off the balcony. Allegedly, because I heard that too. In my whispering voice, I'm glad you're gonna read them. I am. I'm gonna read them for you guys. I'm gonna start with Israel Flores, or do you guys want me to start with Cassie? Who do you want me to start with? Do you want me to start with witness number 1 and work our way through? Or do you want me to start with Cassie? I'm going to tell y'all right now, the one that you guys are probably going to be like, oh my God, is going to be Dr. Dawn Hughes. And I'm going to read Dr. Dawn Hughes because Dr. Dawn Hughes gives the psychological aspects of abuse and how mental manipulation plays a part into all of this, which leads to coercion into doing things. And a lot of people forget that part because Dr. Hughes was so far in. Okay, so somebody wants me to read Dr. Hughes. I see you, Cassie, all the way though. All the way through. You want me to read Cassie all the way through? Sheesh. Start with the beginning. It will help people get a full story. Yeah, from victim one. Maybe it was a dangle like Morris did to Tay Diggs on The Best Man. I don't know because from what was described, her feet were over the balcony and he slammed her, like threw her into the patio furniture. And that's how she ended up with these strawberry patches on her back and this big purple bruise on the back of her leg. Um, I don't know. I wasn't there. Everything is alleged. Ooh, I didn't mean to itch my eye. Her feet were over. Diddy dangle. Yeah, a baby dangle. I don't know, but the girl said her feet was over the balcony, honey. Now, I don't know about you, but that would be enough to shake me. All right, so please read D Rock's message. Shanka as D Rock. Love you, man. If you need a friend, I'm here. Combs, I'll call you back talking to the kids. D Rock to Mia, where are you? Mia, Virginia Beach. D Rock texts her number. Text her the number to Combs. Mia to D Rock. Didn't have my phone. I was scuba diving. D Rock, we're opening up a new restaurant on the 17th. He says he doesn't want anything from you. Mia, super smart. Stay in your bubble. So this goes back to what Mia was saying. I don't understand why they didn't bring any of this up when Mia. They should have brought this lady right at. Let me tell you something. The prosecution is pissing me off. Because unless you're in there and you're paying attention to every single person that comes and testifies, you will be lost in the sauce with trying to keep up with everything that is going on. That's why I keep repeating certain things that people forgot about. Because with 31 witnesses taking the stand, you're not going to remember all of the details. And when Mia spoke, Mia talked about telling D Rock that she was, are you flushing your eyes with saline, Henny? No, I will be. As soon as I end this live, I will. Mia testified to D Rock hitting her up and her telling D Rock that she was scuba diving and she didn't have her phone. Oh, well, the service is horrible here. Like she was telling D Rock that there was, well, they were reading those text messages, but I don't know. Mia already testified to this that she was ducking and dodging D Rock. And I would duck and dodge D Rock too. Wouldn't you? If you knew D Rock was there with Diddy and you don't want no parts in anything, wouldn't you duck him? Ducking Diddy. That should be the name of this. Ducking Diddy. You want to know what's crazy? If I was live the other way, the numbers would be through the roof. But anyway, you guys, stay in your bubble is harsh. Hash or harsh? Which one? Hash or harsh? Ducking Diddy. I'm just saying. I don't know, you guys. Go do what you need to do and then come back the other way. I don't like going the other way though, if I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, I do, but I don't, if that makes sense. Let me tell you, this trial right here has really like opened me up to a whole different experience as a content creator. It's making me think about things a whole lot differently, like aesthetic and um storytelling. And like these lives are cool because I get to interact with you guys, but I really need to start getting more into my storytelling and breaking down a lot of this stuff. This case holds a lot of information, and let me tell y'all, Henny Legal has been working overtime with this. All right, every time there's an update with emails, I have it. Like last night I had the email before it was posted by Inner City Press, but I didn't read it. It was late and I didn't want to go live. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm also thinking about what's next. Now, I am being requested to cover the Big U trial, and I'm willing to go to Cali and do that, but that's not till next year. So the question now becomes what's going to become of this channel once this trial is over. And I don't know if that's something that a lot of content creators have been thinking about because they're in the moment right now. But with the exposure, with having people looking at my channel now, I'm thinking of how to bring it more to a professionally ratchet level. We gonna be professionally ratchet over here because I am not gonna be stuck up in today's gossip news. Sean Diddy Combs is still on trial. I'm not going to do that. There are times when I am going to give y'all straight up Henny the anchor. But for the most part, I do want to think expansion and growth, taking it even more seriously than what I was thinking of taking it before. I'm forever grateful for the foundation that built this platform. Straight Henny Media is still there. I just need to figure out what I'm going to do with that channel. I am also thinking of turning another channel into something else as well, but I'm expanding, growth and development. I enjoy going to the trial and listening to everything. The downside, if I'm going to be honest with you guys, is that I don't live here. If I had the comfort of living here, this would hit a little differently. Because when you're out of town and you're out of town for this long, there's a lot that comes into play. I miss my kids. I miss my kids. I miss Migo. So it's a lot being away, but I'm here with peanut butter. So it's kind of like Swaggerlow said, I just want to be ratchet with my friends. Listen, we still gonna be ratchet, but we gonna be a little bit more professional with things. Um, And if you guys are not following me on TikTok, please go follow me on TikTok, That Girl Henny. I'm going to start cleaning up out of town, thugging with my rounds. No, I'm not thugging with my rounds. I'm going to be cleaning up my TikTok, and I'm going to be trying to see if I could expand and grow that TikTok page a little bit. I think I've kind of outgrown Instagram. Instagram, I'm still there, but I feel like over there, the niche is already there for what it is that we do. So to start fresh, yeah, your followers came because of who you are. No need to change. Well, when I say a bit more professional, I mean I need a better background. I need to take background and aesthetic into place. I need to also, take more into appearance on screen and things of that nature. I could be laid back like this in members only, but out here, I need to be more professional. I had a thing about getting my nails done. I need to get back into my nails. I need to keep myself together and not just feel like I'm going to come and kick it with you guys. Like right now, I'm upset that I'm on here looking like this, but this has shown me a lot. I'm grateful that my first boots on the ground was the Diddy trial. How epic is that? Could you imagine I'm sitting down and I'm talking to somebody and they say to me, oh, okay, well, you do pretty good coverage of court cases. What was your first one? And I'm able to say, I covered the Diddy trial. This is history. This is history in the making. that we're a part of. This is not just some trending topic. Everybody is doing this for their own reason. Some people are doing it because they just want to get to a bag. Some people are doing it because they just want to be seen, or they just want to be a part of it, but aren't really looking at the potential for growth that it has. I'm looking for expansion, and I really do appreciate you guys that continue to come consistently. No matter what we're talking about, you're here. You want to hear what's going on. You want to hear what Henny has to say. So people will accept you better because you show your true self. I'm always going to be me. I'm never going to change who I am and how I give for you guys. It's just making sure that I have proper lighting, making sure that I have the proper aesthetic, making sure that I'm giving you guys quality content. That's what I want to do, is just make sure the production is better. And just do that. Like, keep going up. We're almost at 15K. Can y'all believe that? I am almost at 15K subscribers. I cannot believe that. 15K seems so far away. I appreciate you, Henny. You accept all of us and bring the Henny for sure. Of course, listen, you guys accept me. Y'all accept me, y'all support me, and I'm here. Okay, so the text message between Mia. Now, do y'all remember when Mia said that she told D-Rock that, she was, not answering because she was on a boat? Apparently, there's a text message that came in where Mia told D-Rock that she was on an island off the coast of Honduras. And D-Rock said he would love to hear about it and to let him know how to send her something. And she said, I never asked for anything. And D-Rock was letting her know that he's allowed to send his sister something. But this was after trying to get her to talk to Diddy. You be speaking the truth and you don't sugarcoat shit. Thank you. I know. And at 20K, I'm running naked. You're not getting naked. There is no nudity, okay? We're not doing that. We're not doing that. Let's see. Where are we? Yeah. I think we'll probably hit 15K today. You're not giving distraction. We can focus on your voice. I appreciate that. I am Fat Don. Like, I know there's times when I get really excited and I'd be like, you guys come in here right now. The bar is open. Tell them that I am pouring up right now. And I give y'all all of that. But, it is what it is. But listen, you guys, I'm going to go get some stuff for my face. I'm going to go relax for a bit and try to put together what I'm going to bring to you guys for today. Thank you all for always riding out and rocking out with your girl. I really just wanted to come on here and give you guys the update on juror number 6 and to let you know that Brianna Bonner was not being perjured. She was not being struck with perjury. I may put together some videos. I just need to really hone in on what it is that I'm doing and maximize it. So I love y'all. Y'all go enjoy the rest of y'all day. Pretty soon people will be coming out and they'll be giving you the live updates of what's going on. Once I'm situated, I may come back and give you the inner city tweets. I'm still fighting the urge to just jump in an Uber and head to the city so that I can cover this the way that I cover it, because I feel like I'm missing out. But I'm also listening to what you guys are saying, and you guys are saying take care of me, go rest. So I'm going to attempt to rest, okay? But I love you guys. Thank y'all for tapping in and tuning in with me, and I will see y'all in the next video, everybody. Peace, y'all.